Hello, everyone, to the famous program that you've all been waiting for this long month in the cold winter. It's time for Talk with Hans, Session 2. And today we have three guests. We have the legendary Dragon Slayer Iben Reinberg. Ta-da! Then we have the most beautiful Sandra Anderson.
Hello.
And the little one called Regitze Anderson.
Hey.
So, today we're talking about a new topic. This time the topic is the migration in Britain. And I will start out with a small words that we should all know what mean, because we will use them in this text, in this context. We will use the word immigration, which means when you come from one country to another. Here it's from other country to Britain, and when you start and live there. Then you have migration. That is when you come to a new area. You have clash of cultures. That is when you meet new cultures. When you have Britain and Arabia and get tofu from Japan and delicious salsa from Mexico and jalapenos and honey. Then we have melting pot. It is a term that's not what it says it is, but it's when you have become a multicultural society and it's like you're all in one pot and it's all mixed up together. Then you have citizenship. That is when you are a part of a special country, like I'm a citizen of Beerland with floating honey. And then we have identity. It's who you are. And no other can choose that. But we start out with Iben Reinberg, the Dragon Slayer, that will talk about migration history.
Yes, and I have to say it is to Britain, of course. And we start very early in AD 43, where people came from Germany and East Europe to Britain. Later on, some Jews came, then they were banished, then they came again, and then they made some stuff, and people came all around the world just to come to Britain to, for example, work. But coming to Britain weren't easy in those early years because you didn't have a plane to fly over to Britain, for example. Also, all the immigration to Britain also formed their culture and changed their music and their food. And of course, the two world wars had a great factor to the migration. And so Britain was formed through all of this.
Anyone else got anything to add to this?
No.
Let me say thanks to the Dragon Slayer.
Roar.
Then we have Sandra Anderson, who is going to talk about some very important stuff about push, pull, and emotional factors.
Thank you. And, well, it is in a word, for example, push factor is the thing that makes you want to leave your home or country, like, for example, war, and it's like pushing you away. So, and then there's pull factors. It's like they're pulling you to it. It's stuff that you like about an area you want to move to. And the last one, emotional factors. It's like if you move from one place to another, you can miss your family or the place you lived before.
Okay, and examples of push factors can be that maybe there's no more honey in your land. Then you want to come to another land that's floating with honey.
You want boobs.
Beer boobs is not that good. And but you don't want to leave the land because your small teddy bears live there. Then we have Brigitte that is going to talk about some special theme we have going on. It's Caribbean. What's
Thank you.
about that?
As we all know, Caribbeans came from the Caribbean, of course, to England, and then they did so around the 17th century, when the Caribbean were colonized by Britain. And they came to Britain as slaves, and those were the first who immigrated to England. Yeah, but in the 19th century, during the wars, the Caribbeans came as to serve in the Allied forces to help them win the 2 world wars, especially in the Second World War. And from then on out, a lot of Caribbeans, especially in the second half of the 20th century, around 250,000 Caribbeans came to Britain. And they, of course, started to clash with their cultures, and that's how Caribbean culture became a part of Britain.
And then to all of you out there, if when you want to find Caribbean, you're kind of taking when you have the USA, you have when you go from Florida, and then you're just going down. You hit Cuba as an example, and when you're right next to Cuba, you have Caribbean. Just so you know, a pulsation on the world where it is. Then I'm gonna thank all my nice guests here in the studio, and I hope to see you for the next episode of Talk with Hans.
Woo! Thank you!